Suspend your disbelief, your rational, analytic mind, just for a minute, just for the length of this podcast. What if all I am about to tell you is the truth? What if the information you will be provided is from a divine source? Just for this time, I am your Axis Mundi. Consider this podcast your channel, your second opinion. When I do a reading, something larger than myself is working through me. So ask what you wish. This is your channel, your doorway to the divine. Oh, welcome to Johnstarot. Welcome to you from wherever in the world you may be. This week, I have a special interview with Janis King. I hope you enjoyed the interview. I had some internet problems, which since that time I have upgraded my internet source. So Janis King is a tarot master, educator, and author with over 20 years of experience in the art and practice of tarot, having read for thousands of clients worldwide, including celebrities and even a politician or two. Janis has become a recognized authority in the field. She is the author of 3 books, including her most recent work, Tarot, the Life Code, A Fool, a Magician, and the Seeker of Life, and the creator of the award-winning Life Code Tarot deck. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It was kind of broken up. I will leave a link to Janis's website so you can take a look at it. Janis also mentors and teaches students in tarot practice, helping them develop both skill and intuition. Her work has been featured across mainstream UK press, television, radio in the UK and US, and numerous podcasts. In 2025, she was listed in Time Out London as one of the city's best tarot readers. She studied advanced mediumship at the School of Psychic Studies in London and trance mediumship at the Arthur Findlay Spiritualist College in Stansted. Janis's approach blends deep spiritual understanding with practical application, using tarot as a tool for self-empowerment, manifestation, and personal transformation. So, like I said, I will leave the link in the intro. Take a look at her site. She's a very interesting guest. She was very nice. She was nice enough to reach out to me, and we were able to do this podcast. I'm in California, and she's in the UK, so it's always interesting for me to do a interview from across the pond. So I hope you enjoy this interview, and I'll piece it together as best I can around my internet problems. It came out rather well. She was a fascinating guest, very pleasant. I enjoyed the interview. I hope you enjoy the interview as well. So enjoy for now. Okay. Hi, Janis. Welcome to Johnstarot. I'm so glad you could join me today.
Hello, John. It's really lovely to be here.
I was looking at your bio, and you really have quite an impressive bio. Some of the places you studied and your accomplishments. How did you find places to study this type of thing?
Yeah. Well, the psychic school in London and the Arthur Findlay College are both really long-standing, very well-respected environments. The Arthur Findlay College in Stansted specifically, it's like Hogwarts. It's an enormous country house, and it's just an incredible place. The energy there is mind-blowing, and it's almost like you walk in and weird stuff starts happening. For me anyway, weird stuff started happening right from the get-go. It was like, okay, we're here then. Okay. So I was that the information about that place came to me through a couple of other people who talked about it and recommended it. It really is quite an amazing place. If anyone wants to look it up, they'll see it. It really does look a little. It's not like Hogwarts, but it's a huge country house. It's in its own grounds. It's it's a school for weird stuff. So it's very good and very well renowned.
That's interesting. Weird stuff is what seems to draw us into tarot and into these types of things. I call it synchronistic experiences from a Jungian point of view. What drew you into tarot? What drew you into this life?
Well, I mean, from a really young age, I was sort of it was normal for us. My aunt read catamancy, which is playing cards, and my family would do the odd Ouija board. So the thing of talking to dead people was not a weird thing for us in our family, but it wasn't something I was drawn to at all, as far as a path that I wanted to walk. And I actually refused the call to go on this path in my 20s when I went with my mum to a spiritualist church. She wanted to try and make contact with her mum who'd passed. And my mum volunteered me for a psychometry experiment, which I had no idea what it was. I just held this ring and said some stuff, and everybody went, "Ah!" and they said, you have to go into development. I said, no, what? Ew, no. So I refused. um but I was very, very interested in energy and how much control we have over our lives. And so from that perspective, I got to a place in my life in my 40s where I decided on a big grand experiment, a big grand calling experiment, where I would put this whole thing. Um, and it went like a forest fire. So this was me meditating and focusing and doing the whole manifestation thing. And it went like a rocket until 18 months later, the whole thing literally collapsed like a pack of cards. It was 18 months. It was everything went. My whole life went with it. The whole lot hit the ground in a cataclysmic, lively earthquake. And I was furious, John, furious. It's like, well, what is all this for? I don't get it. And I was ranting in my car, as many of us do at various points in life, ranting at God, expressing my extreme displeasure at what had occurred. And let's just say I was a little bit hysterical about the whole thing. And anyway, when I was sitting in my car,
I'm still here. Go ahead.
oh, okay, sorry, I lost you there. Yeah, so I was sitting in my car and I sort of gave God a bit of an ultimatum and said, okay, so what should I do? Should I just, give in and just forget it and just that's it, none of it's going to work, forget it? Or should I, and I said the words, have faith. And as I said the words, have faith, another voice said it with me, which was really weird. And I went, oh, okay, that was weird. I heard you. And then nothing happened. That was it. So like more crickets. Then I carried on meditating, and I had an experience in a meditation where a little boy ran out of some woods. It was almost like it was properly real. Ran out of some woods, sat down next to me, and handed me a white stone egg because I'd been asking to speak to guides, which I was apparently not able to do. And anyway, he handed me the white stone egg, and I said, "Are you a guide?" And he shook his head, and I looked at the stone egg, and it had a white bird carved into it. And I said, "Oh, it's a white dove." And he nodded his head vigorously and then ran away, and then nothing happened. And I'm getting really fed up with this nothing happening lark until about a month later when I was in Camden Market in North London, and I saw a shop that had tarot readings in the window. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe perhaps I can get some answers, because I'm sure as hell not getting any answers this way. So I went in, and there was a guy out back reading for somebody, and there was a guy on the counter, and I said, I'd like to inquire about a tarot reading. And he said, oh, well, you'll have to speak to White Dove. Oh, okay. I think I probably do need to speak to White Dove. And the reading I had with White Dove, he told me that my life had been my call, because I'd been calling for, give me what I need to make everything all right. Careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Give me what I need to make everything all right. And he said, your call has been heard and you're being moved to another path. And I said, no, I refuse. My call was to make my life everything now. You don't need to wreck it all. Just make it all right. He went, no, that's not what's happening. You're being moved to a new path. I said, I refuse to be moved to a new path. You don't get to come into my life. I take it back. I take all of it back. It's all been a huge mistake. And he said, yeah, that ship has somewhat sailed. So I said, so what is this new path? He said, I'm not going to tell you because you'll only say no or worse side effect. And anyway, you have a path to walk over the next 3 years. It's going to be really hard. Just saying. And he said there'll be angels either side of you, both human and energetic, and they will help you. It's going to be tough, just so you know. And you'll find your way. And so I'm guessing this is the new path then, which is why I was called to White Dove Steve. I mean, his reading was quite extraordinary, and it was extraordinary enough to make me go, okay, this is actually quite interesting. Maybe I need to think about finding out more about this. And that was therefore the idea, right? So I was a hard hire. I was a tough hire for them. I just kept going, no.
That's interesting, especially what you said about getting the call. Did you experience? So you get the call, you refuse the call. No, I'm not going there. And then you finally were enticed into following the path. But did you find that you had a period of collapse after you decided, okay, I'll do this. I'll call it or a descent, where all your old things in your life kind of nothing like that.
Yeah, that had already happened anyway, and that was just a 3 years, a completely devastating 3 years. I mean, it really was a complete deconstruction of everything. And in that 3 years, and even a bit since, but especially in that 3 years, my entire life and self was totally taken apart. And at times I really didn't know if I had any kind of a future properly. The only thing that kept me going, honestly, was the fact that I have 2 kids, 2 boys, and it was, I mean, even just talking about it makes me emotional. It was incredibly difficult. I honestly thought that I had no future. It was that bad. And underlying all of that, I was learning tarot and getting to know it. But as for me, I was a wreck.
I believe it or not, I completely understand. It seems to be a common theme in people who are called by spirit. I don't know how else to explain it. But that's just the simplest way. I had a similar experience. Tell me a little bit about your tarot deck, the Life Code.
Yeah. So that came. So this is my deck here, which is very pretty. Here it is. And that came about because we had another mini meltdown. Be careful what you wish for. So everything was going fine, and I had a very nice and quite successful tarot practice, and I sort of felt that I'd come to a point where I really needed to go to the next level, and I didn't really know how to do that. So, of course, what I do is I don't go and find myself a course. I go into meditation, and I say, I really like to go to the next level. Can you help me, please? And of course, they can't just do it a little bit, can they? No, they can't. They have to go in mob-handed. And I I had a mini life meltdown where everybody in my life around me fell apart and kind of ran away. My husband had a breakdown. My kids just said, they can't handle this. My parents had a meltdown. I found myself again completely on my own. This time I realized it was orchestrated. I knew it was all too pat. Everything just happened. Click, 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 click. And again, I'm like, oh, really? Really? Is this absolutely necessary to keep doing this? It's just not fun. So again, I was, so I was just trying to get myself through this difficult period. And I was laying in the bath, and oddly, and I was just laying in the bath, just relaxing as you do, and suddenly this voice shouted in my head, were write the book. It's like, whoa, what? I'm in the bath. For goodness sakes, have some flipping decency. So anyway, I had to jump out of the bath, go to my laptop, start typing madly, and then after about 3 paragraphs, nothing, gone. Like, what? What book? What book am I supposed to write? What was that download? That was weird. I've got nothing now. You've left me with nothing. Crickets again. But it left me kind of wired and really. And I thought, well, I don't know who to tell, because if I tell my normal friends, they're going to go, okay, Janice, we need to have an intervention because you're obviously going a bit mad and we're kind of worried about you. And there was one friend that I knew would understand, and she had been one of the people that had come into my life during that original period. And she had been in Bali, and I texted her and said, I really need to see you. And she'd come back from Bali. She said, I have this thing happen. I need to download. So I went to meet her, told her what had happened, because we hadn't really been much in contact, right, for about 2 years. And she told me she'd met this guy in Bali, and this guy had told her about the Arthur Findlay College. And she said, it's funny that you've contacted me right now. Maybe we should go to the Arthur Findlay College. She said, let's go after Christmas. First available course. Let's book it. You and I, let's just say whatever it is, we're going to do it. We're just going to do it. So I said, okay, I'm up for it. So we looked, and the first course available at the Arthur Findlay College was a 7-day residential course in trance mediumship. And we booked it, and I went, and I got inhabited very profoundly and quite disconcertingly by an energetic spirit on that course, which blew my mind. It was the most bizarre experience. I mean, I literally felt it break my physical boundary and enter my body. And I also, when the time came, felt it leave. It was just completely bizarre. And when I got back from Arthur Findlay, I went to my son's house, and we started. My son reads tarot and is a board game designer, and we started laying tarot out, playing as if we were going to make tarot a game. Then all of a sudden, I suddenly saw all these new connections in the tarot deck that I hadn't seen before, and it was okay. That's a thing. And again with the speedy up thing, again with the like someone's just plugged you into some sort of weird electrical circuit where you're
Sure,
and I came back and I couldn't get this out of my head. And I took a picture of the layout on the floor, and I just thought, this is a deck. This is a new deck. I have to make this deck. And everyone's going, stop it. And yeah, I have to make this deck. So I made the deck. And that was a whole new system. It was a whole new way of looking at tarot, and a whole new way of learning tarot and interacting with tarot and seeing tarot, a whole new way of seeing tarot. It doesn't change anything about it. It's just almost like you can see another stage, which is what, of course, I asked for. So
it's a very interesting journey. That you go from one level to another where you're quite satisfied with your tarot reading career, and then you get bumped up to another level, and then you go through that same process again of disorientation, and then bumping into the field, and just compelled to do the work, and it won't stop until the work is done.
Yeah, quite right. Yes. Yes. In fact, my friend Ray, who I learned tarot with decades ago now, he began a bit of work on the deck with me, and because we have a lot of fun together talking about, being tarot nerds and things. And at one point he said, "You know what?" He said, "I am a little bit concerned that you may be damaging your mental health things. You're actually going down so many rabbit holes with this thing." He said, "I just, I advise caution." It's like I'm ringing them up, going, "Oh, it's like this thing, this amazing thing. Can I just talk this through with you? Can we road test it, make sure it works?" And he was going, "It all works, but you're getting really about it, and it's a bit worrying. You've got to calm down with this thing." And I was very fried. It was frying my circuits. So yeah.
Well, we've been having a lot of internet problems today between the UK and the United States. I want to go ahead and wrap this up, Janis, because sometimes you get the message, and we're fighting an uphill battle. How can somebody contact you if they would like, if they need to contact you and they're interested in your deck? Where can they find your deck and some of your books?
Yeah, they can find me on janisking.uk. So Janis, Janis, janisking.uk. Very easy.
Could they find get a copy of your tarot deck from the same website?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, you can do everything you need to do on there. You can book a reading, you can buy the book, you can buy the deck. And there are courses as well. So, you can contact me in absolutely.
Oh, good. That's great. I want to thank you very much for joining me today and giving me a little bit of your time. We struggle with the internet, but I'll put it together. It'll be all right.
Yes.
Okay.
It is what it is. That's
Okay.
okay. It was lovely to be here, and thank you for having me.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you very much, Janis.
My pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed the interview with Janis King. We have something in common. Janis didn't call it this, but when I did my Soul Awakening Spirit series, I temporarily entered an area of intense creative activity, often referred to as an archetypal field. And I could tell Janis has also experienced that, although she had different words for it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm not going to do a tarot reading this week. I just wanted to provide the interview. And I hope you all have a great week. Be careful, be cool, be kind. Remember, have courage, find faith, and I'll see you upon my return. Okay, bye-bye.